November 25th, 2013. You can't look like the girl in the magazine because it's a lie. Many of the pictures you see aren't real. They have been retouched in some way, and we are fooled. Too many people have been manipulated in belief. Many girls hate their body from upon seeing these images. A lot of them believe this is the way to look. There have been talks of a disclaimer that will state if a picture has been adjusted. This has been said all over the news, but there hasn't been a disclaimer yet. I think there should. There should be disclaimers on readjusted photos so people will have a more realistic idea of a person. Contrary to popular belief, Photoshop or any sorts of photo manipulation is not easy to do. It also isn't obvious to notice when a picture has been messed with. A common idea about photo manipulation is that it is obvious when the picture has been altered with. That is not the case. One of the databases I read was the manipulated techniques that were used upon these photos were more object-based than image-based. To simplify, there is more to manipulation than what it seems. In Kleinman's article, "Can You Believe Your Eyes in the Digital World?" Professor Farad shows us how that is done. The same article also states that Farad and his team had to use scientific equations and mathematical algorithms to analyze photos, looking for statistical anomalies in their composition. Doesn't sound so easy now, does it? Farad said people think it is easy to spot manipulated photos because they see a lot of bad fakes, adding, "But of course, if you only see the bad ones, you think it's easy." Pictures are composed of pixels. These many pixels make up one picture. The process is time-consuming. They scan the image into the computer. Sharpening the image is a very common manipulation. When the manipulation is finished, they receive the final image with a film recorder. It appears the main reason photographers often change their photographs is digital cameras are so sharp that retouching is even more necessary because you can see every little blemish on the skin. Due to these constant images, we have given ourselves an unrealistic self-image. In Powell's article, it emphasizes the consequences of this mindset. The effect of seeing these images seem to fall into the same pattern, an eating disorder. It is not only women who are affected by this, but men too. According to the South Carolina Department of Mental Health, about 1 million men are diagnosed with an eating disorder. It affects men and women who believe so at an equal rate, just in different ways. Same article says images of thinner and muscular men are often displayed. Overall, the dedication to be this look is impossible since no amount of makeup or weeks of exercise can ever be the body that is played with a mouse in a few seconds. There is no question that these pictures affect girls' self-esteem. There was a first-hand experience of being image manipulated in one article. Maza Mudar allowed some photographers to use her image. As she looked at the final touches of the images, she comments, "Every blemish vanished from my skin, as did the scar on my forehead. She whitened my face, lengthened my neck, changed the shape of my nose, widened my eyes, elongated my legs, sliced up parts of my arms and thighs, and narrows my hips." Despite that she was happy with her appearance before, a glance at the restored images made her feel old, tired, and a bit chubby. Powell's article writes in one article that when students discover advertisements manipulate their images, they are outraged. It may be that it is not the image itself that makes this unethical, but the lie behind it. The picture's deceit and influence to how we should ought to be. It is perfectly understandable that everything we try to be is a lie and will never happen. It affects us worse than we should let it affect us. So far, the only way you can truly tell is summed up by this. However, with the media already saturated with manipulated pictures, many of which can be identified with the help of complex mathematics, the law is erring on the side of caution for now. There is no doubt about it. Severe photo-manipulated images distort our perception of beauty. There is a bound of evidence that shows that it does more harm than good. As I was writing this article, I came upon an acquaintance of mine who has said his sister worked in photography. He stated that it wasn't the graphic designers who even want to make the pictures appear this way, but the advertising companies. It may not be the most professional claim to make, but it did generate new ideas. The new information I discovered made me think a lot over the past few days. Learning about this puts the whole new problem into a new perspective. The media manipulates you to maintain a certain image, and when you really think about it, the battle has just begun. Most of the abundant, informative articles I gathered were written in the late 90s, yet what is written is still true today, as it almost was 20 years ago. The point of bringing this up is the problem has been long there, but we just discovered that. That is a very long time to find out something is wrong. And we soon fight these lies of an image. Should there be a disclaimer? I think yes. Do you have to see it to believe it? Not always. If you did, you think you have to look like Barbie. To give them credit, most of these photos are really good and hard to miss. Unfortunately, a lot of people do not realize that. Not everyone is bad in the situation that is going on, but they are not sure what to change. If they did manipulate their photos, the pictures would look very different, which is a problem. Advertisers want their product to sell, so they have to come up with sneaky ways for us, the consumers, to buy it. Yet, they don't know how much effect they put on people. This is why this issue is still ongoing, just like the fact that this is a first draft, and why there should be more than one draft, because so far, this paper has been a lot to learn about. By that, I mean professionally and emotionally. How many of you notice a photo that has been manipulated? If more people could tell, the problem would end. But it isn't easy to find obvious differences. It's a trick. A trick people fall for all the time. A product can still look good without using Photoshop. It's called camera, lighting, flash, and sharp images. It looks a lot more different than a photo which has been on a computer. The old-fashioned photos look more realistic. What we need so the issue, or inserting a disclaimer, can end once and for all. Manipulated photos have a negative influence on the public. They give us an unrealistic expectation of the human image. If you look at it so casually, you would think it was just any old photo. Because of the talent that graphic designers have, it brainwashes us that we should have this certain kind of look to obtain a successful life for us, which isn't right or true. The more I learned about this topic, the more I learned about its true effects, how photos are manipulated, how well it deceives people, and how it affects society's self-image due to fake photos they see every day on an advertisement. A disclaimer has to be placed at this point to prevent people, especially young girls, from growing up to attain an image that is nearly impossible.